Did you know victims have the right to privacy? Privacy is a basic human right. This right is deeply rooted in the history of the United States of America. Although the right to privacy is not explicitly mentioned in the United States Constitution, future Supreme Court Justice Brandeis and his then law partner Samuel Warren acknowledged it in an article in 1890. They stated that privacy was not only desirable but necessary to have some protection from intrusion into private life. Even beyond that, they recognized that the invasion of an individual's privacy can subject him or her to mental pain and distress, far greater than could be inflicted by mere bodily injury. Recent research supports the finding that people may be harmed in a significant, cognizable way when their personal information is distributed against their will. As David Solove stated in a 2007 Law Review article, privacy is not the trumpeting of the individual against society's interests, but the protection of the individual based on society's own norms and values. Protecting victims' privacy protects the values that our society holds dear. The Supreme Court has repeatedly recognized that the federal Constitution provides protections for the privacy of individuals. In addition, a number of state constitutions explicitly provide for a right of privacy, in addition to protecting victims' privacy through statutory or rule-based provisions. Some of the statutes and rules that safeguard victim privacy include Victims' Rights Acts, rape shield laws, privileges that protect the privacy of medical, counseling, and other information, protection of victim contact information, and the right to refuse requests for interviews or other information. Why is privacy an important aspect of victims' rights?
Privacy is vital. Confidentiality is vital. It allows victims to know that they're safe, that they're secure. Crime obviously takes that element of control away from them, and I think being able to assure a victim's privacy and confidentiality gives them a little bit of that empowerment back. So they know that what they say, what happens, that their voice in some instances and in some processes is going to be protected, and they won't have further harm done to them because they're voicing their own safety concerns.
Privacy is a very important element of the work that we do, because when a victim's rights have been violated, they have a real loss of security, and protecting their privacy helps restore that.
An essential aspect of privacy is victims' ability to control access to their own personal information. This issue arises in some form in nearly every criminal case, as counsel for both the defendant and the state may wish to see and use some amount of victim information. For example, access may be sought to the victim's diary, Facebook account, emails, cell phone records, computer hard drives, or Google searches, each of which may contain highly personal information. The simple prospect of having this information revealed to anyone, let alone a perpetrator, can result in re-victimization, reluctance or refusal of victims to participate in proceedings, and victims choosing not to report an offense at all to avoid being placed in a situation where they must sacrifice their privacy to seek justice. Why is control over one's personal information important?
Privacy is essential because it gives victims the opportunity to choose themselves when information about them gets released, if it gets released, and who it goes to, particularly for victims of sexual assault who've recently had power and choice taken from them. Having the opportunity to make that choice about their personal information is really essential.
The use of pseudonyms and initials in place of a victim's name can be an important tool to protect victim privacy. Although some victims may welcome being publicly identified as part of a criminal proceeding, some may need or want to protect their identity. Victim privacy has long been an issue of primary concern for victims, but it takes on a new dimension in the internet age, as a wider range of information is more readily available than ever before and can often be accessed using something as simple as a Google search. It makes sense that privacy is a cornerstone right.
Privacy is one of the cornerstone rights for crime victims. They've been invaded once through a criminal act, and historically they've been invaded again by obtrusive defense discovery requests, by overly aggressive defense counsel tactics. And victims need to feel that they can preserve their own privacy and dignity while participating in the system. And So, privacy can be a life or death situation with women or other sexual assault victims and victims who are in fear of their offender, if their identifying information is released, then it's life or death. For child victims and others, they don't want to be labeled as a crime victim for the rest of their life just because they participated in the criminal justice process and chose to prosecute the person who perpetrated a heinous crime on them. They shouldn't have to wear the badge of victim. If they choose to do that and they choose to be an advocate, that's one thing, but having someone choose that for them is another outrage. It's just almost as bad as the original victimization itself.
The right to privacy is a key right for many victims and must be upheld and enforced throughout the criminal justice process. As Aline Seidman and Susan Vickers write in a 2005 Law Review article, privacy is like oxygen. It is a pervasive, consistent need at every step of recovery. Within the context of the legal system, if a victim is without privacy, all other remedies are moot. For more information, NCVLI has published a number of in-depth bulletins, including several bulletins specifically analyzing a range of privacy-related issues in greater depth. These are available for download on our website in the Law Library. In addition to the Victim Law Library, NCVLI's online resources include a rights enforcement toolkit, as well as other Know Your Rights short videos. NCVLI can also provide more specific information and resources to members of the victims' rights community. To submit a request for assistance, please visit our website and fill out the online request form. Victims deserve to be treated fairly in the criminal justice system, and NCVLI is here to help.